Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you as always for being here, clicking on the video, showing in, showing up, stopping by. I appreciate you. Let's go ahead and listen to some Laura Nyro. We're going to listen to the track New York Tendaberry. This is off of her album of the same name, which was released in 1969. We're listening to this track because it was recommended by Dan in MUC and several others. Street Scene Live, Bob Holtzman, and Rhiannon. So thank you so much for the suggestions. We've listened to one song from Miss Nyro a very long time ago, and it is time to revisit. So let's go ahead and do so in New York. This is the final track on the album. Here we go.
New York, Tendaberry. Rush on, roam of brush and drum, and the past is a blue note inside me. So New York, Tendaberry. Blueberry. Rugs and drapes and drugs in capes.
A lot of sensitivity with the piano playing.
Sweet kids in hunger slows, firecrackers breaking their crust in the dust, and they skate in the night comes.
I love the way she says that.
Now I'm back, unpacked.
She said, I'm back, I'm unpacked, and I'm ready to go.
Sidewalk impinging, you look like a city with your feel like religion.
And did she hit that?
To me.
I like how she left you there.
New York, Tendaberry. silver
It's like perfect notes.
New York.
This quite literally ends with a whisper for us. Think about this. It's the last track on the album. So although I haven't taken the journey with this album, you can clearly tell that it is conclusive. It does feel like a satisfying end to whatever happened before. And I think taking that into context, it works so well. Taken out of context, it works so well. Spoiler alert. I'm not a singer, although occasionally I try to. Primarily in the shower. That's where I record my best material. But I think that the way that Miss Nyro what's the word? There's an E word I want to use. The way that she exclaims, emphasizes, handles the control of her voice and exemplifies such perfect control, I think is like kind of the star. And clearly, she has this perfect reign when it comes to the emotional hold that she has on everything. It's just her and the piano. That's it. There was another sound in there at one point that sounded like something else, like when she mentions the glass. Don't know what that was. Maybe it was just more piano. It was something. But it's really just her and the piano. I always say this. When it's a person with a guitar, a person with acoustic guitar, not good acoustic, a person with a piano, when it's just voice and one singular instrument, it's laid barren and open for them to fill that space that's left with other instruments out, fill that space with emotion, personality, personableness, and like an intimacy. That's what's being done here with Nyro. And the way that she controls her voice in these very whispery, subtle, mellow, and quiet tones in the beginning of the track, for example, which is very, very low in volume, into the moments where she softly and gently yet explodes into those higher notes, those longer sustained notes like you heard near the end. It's that control which feels so precise that I am impressed by. Because she's not, this is going to sound horrible, so just work with me. She's not singing like this and then like this. Like she's not raising up like this or whatever. She's just doing here and then, I can't, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to hurt your ears. But the way that so many times in this track, she just gives a lot of pause, almost as if thought, and then explodes into that next note. Like just hitting it. There's no slide into it. There's no rise into it. Not taking the easy way out. She just, not here, and then boom. Pause. And back here. Boom. Like, it's just that. I hope that what I said makes sense in the context of the song. But I find that is so hard to do. It's like, I don't know, shooting hoops. I don't know. I don't play basketball. Going to like the 3-point line, shooting it. Then going like half court, shooting it. Going to the other side of the court, shooting it. Coming right under the net, shooting it. And all of those are perfect. There's no progressive around the world. Remember, you used to play that and like a progress, and you can kind of practice. Okay, it gets a little harder, gets a little harder, gets a little harder. No, this is just straight from under the net to half court to full court. You know, like I think that all made sense. Anyways, I think it's incredibly sung from Nyro. And clearly it's about her love of New York. New York Tendaberry, blueberry, a rush of rum. Of brush and drum, and the past is a blue note inside me, so I ran away in the morning. I get a few things from here. So I think that she's looking at herself, perhaps, I may be wrong, as a New York Tendaberry. I think, I don't know, unless this is an actual thing, Tendaberry romance. Okay, so it's not an actual thing. I just think it's like tender and berry, right? Like a tender berry, sweet, soft, etc. is she saying that perhaps she was inexperienced in New York when maybe she grew up there? Did she grow up in New York? I was actually just trying to Google it. Not, give me a Google. Where is she born? There you go. Born in the Bronx. So clearly she has a strong affinity with New York. I don't know how long she lived there, but I would imagine that she lived there for quite a while if, she was at least born there. So I think that like this is like her saying like, I grew up in New York. I was born in New York. I was tender, maybe inexperienced, but through that and through a lot of things I experienced and I gained experience. And now look at me. I started off as a tenderberry and now not a hard berry, but and then blueberry or rush of rum. I'm just thinking that is, of course, referencing to perhaps bars and stuff there. Brush and drum, jazz music, of which this is clearly taken an inspiration from. And the past is a blue note. Blue note, of course, famously a jazz label. So I ran away in the morning. Perhaps she wasn't ready for it. New York tenderberry, blueberry, rugs and drapes and drugs and capes, sweet kids in hunger slums, firecrackers break and they cross and they dust and they skate and the night comes. I ran away in the morning. Now I'm back unpacked. And that's where the music begins to pick up a little bit. So like she left for a time. This is what I'm gathering. I don't know, biographical, but she left for a time and now she's back. The music picks up. She's more experienced. She left a tenderberry. She's back a hardberry. Sidewalk, and not in a weak way. Not in a weakness kind of way. Just inexperience. Sidewalk and pigeon, you look like a city, but you feel like a religion to me. I think that is such a beautiful line. On one hand, of course, it's just a city, but it feels like something bigger than that for her. There's a spiritual element that she's connected to with the city, the same way someone is connected to a religion. I think that that's a beautiful line. True, New York tenderberry, true berry, I lost my eyes in east wind skies, right? Perhaps she lost her way. That's when she ran away, but now she's back. Here where I've cried, where I've tried, where God and the tenderberry rise, see she's rising, where Quakers and revolutionaries join for life, for precious years, join for life through silver tears, New York tenderberry. So she says, here's where I've cried, I've tried, I've experienced things, I've failed, I've succeeded. This is where the home is. This is where my heart is. And I like this line, assuming that she's talking about herself, which I think it is. She's admitting she's rise now. She's grew into it. She's matured, and now she's risen along with the city in a sense. I think that that's really, really beautiful. I love the lyrics. I love the way it's sung and performed. Just a great track overall. So thank you guys so much for the recommendation. I hope that you guys enjoyed the video and the reaction. Of course, you can let me know your thoughts in the places as usual. The comments and the such and this and that. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And I'll see you all later. Bye.